Episode 7 of Reacher Season 3 introduces a twist that severely disadvantages Jack Reacher and his squad, setting up the climax. Reacher Season 3's Episode 7 opens with a bittersweet encounter between the title character and Duffy, before setting the scene for the season's conclusion. The two Reacher Season 3 characters then intimidate Prado and make him set up a meeting between them and Beck. Neagley also pieces together the larger picture in the meantime before traveling to Maine. Reacher discovers that it is a bit too late to prevent her from joining him on his perilous quest after Neagley and Reacher reunite. He thus requests that she see Beck and makes him an offer in which they promise to safeguard him and his son in exchange for his cooperation in punishing Quinn. Despite his initial hesitancy, Beck ultimately consents to work with the heroes and subsequently tells them about Quinn's upcoming sale at the Bullhead Salvage Yard. He is unaware that Reacher and Quinn are one step ahead of them. Quinn became suspicious of Beck the moment he revealed that two of his employees were undercover spies. So he kept Beck at arm's length to make sure his next trade went smoothly. Because of this, Beck was unable to determine the exact location of the last sale. Before closing the purchase, Beck was only aware that the buyers were leaving Yemen and would land on a private airfield. Beck asks Quinn where the guns must be transferred in order for the transaction to be completed, keeping his end of the bargain with Neagley. Beck phones Reacher as soon as Quinn tells him they have to be taken to Bullhead Salvage Yard and tells him where it is. Neagley pursues the Yemen buyer's car as Jack Reacher positions a sniper rifle close to the yard in an attempt to murder Quinn before ATF officers take him into custody. Reacher is shocked to see that Quinn is nowhere to be found and that only Beck has arrived for the transaction. Reacher discovers that Quinn has somehow outwitted the buyers when he asks Neagley where they appear to be going. Reacher asks Neagley if the Yemen buyers are following the coastline after he only saw Beck at the salvage yard and realized they were going somewhere else. Reacting with a resolute yes, Reacher deduces that the purchasers are on their way to Beck's estate. With this, he connects the dots and realizes that Beck was set up by Quinn. Quinn lied to him about the location of the deal and asked his buyers to come to the mansion to finalize the sale. A crossfire between Beck's men and the ATF will likely break loose in the finale, and it will come down to Reacher to save Beck before it is too late. Time will tell how Quinn came to doubt Beck's commitment, but when Beck insisted on getting Richard out of the mansion before the deal day, he probably began to question his intentions. Due to the events in Episode 7 of Reacher Season 3, Beck is in a precarious scenario where the ATF is already waiting to infiltrate the deal and he may not even survive the trip out of the salvage yard. In the conclusion, there will probably be a crossfire between Beck's men and the ATF, and Reacher will have to intervene to save Beck before it's too late. The major antagonist of Reacher Season 3, Xavier Quinn, lost faith in Beck as soon as he discovered that numerous law enforcement officers were surreptitiously skulking around his estate and attempting to overthrow him. When Beck insisted on getting his son out of the mansion and kept asking where the agreement was, he became even more skeptical of Beck's involvement with Reacher. Quinn's own life hinged on the transaction, therefore he did not want to take any chances, even if he probably did not know for sure if Beck was secretly working with Reacher. Episode 6 of Reacher Season 3 revealed that Quinn needed to fulfill his agreement with the buyers in order to repay a large loan he had obtained from a violent Russian mob. Since Beck was the sole flaw in his painstaking strategy, he did not want to take the chance of including him after the sale reached its conclusion. He probably sensed trouble when Beck began acting strangely, even though he was unaware that the ATF would also show up at the salvage yard. He misled Beck and then deceived Reacher and ATF to make sure nothing stood in the way of his transaction.